trình mời quý vị tiếp tục theo dõi chương trình Tôi và Việt Nam, và chúng tôi đang tìm hiểu cuộc sống thường nhật của vị khách mời là ông Stephen Wyatt đến từ công ty Jones Lang LaSalle Việt Nam. Welcome back again, Mr. Stephen Wyatt. So you came to Vietnam with your family or just by yourself first?
With my family. So I have a wife, Olivia, and two girls.
It was quite a shock for you and your family when you first came. Share with us a little bit about that. How did you go through that period of time?
Well, I think, it's always interesting arriving in a new country that you've never been before, and then just understanding how everything works and where everything is, just the supermarkets and the hospitals, and trying to just get your bearings in the city and just try to work out how things generally work. And obviously everything is in a different language, so that poses its own set of problems, but most Vietnamese now speak English, which is lucky for us. So when we arrived, it was just myself and my wife, so we didn't have children at the time, so both our children were born here. So their life, so they're very young, they're only 3 and 2 years old. So they have only known Vietnam, so they've been born and raised in Vietnam. So they do know Vietnamese, or a little bit of Vietnamese. They can count in Vietnamese and sing in Vietnamese now.
Wow.
So they're amazing, and it's amazing to come home every night and see them. I try and, if I can, I try and get home to see them in the evening before they go to bed, and we read a story together, and it's a very, very special time. So, and I think that's important. We try and get the right balance between work and family time.
Did you find any difficulties working with your colleagues? I mean, Vietnamese colleagues.
I think there's always challenges with managing a business. I mean, what we try and do at JLL, it's a very structured business. So everyone has their what we call IPMP, which is their professional sort of management program. So everyone knows their job description and their targets and their KPIs, and everyone is reviewed on a very regular basis. So it's a very structured way of doing business. One of the biggest challenges of managing a business is obviously dealing with people and with HR issues, and trying to keep people motivated and happy, but also trying to get the best out of them as well. We know we're in a business, we need to make money.
While speaking with you, I can feel that you are a very warm person, and from your colleagues, I know that you are a very gentle person as well. You never yell at anyone. Is that true?
My appearance is perhaps a little bit laid back. I tend to be on one level most of the time, and that's just I think partly through training, but partly through my sort of persona as well. So, and I think people generally respect that. So I don't tend to shout. I don't feel the need that I have to shout. But there has been occasions when I do certainly find it necessary to take someone aside and say, this is actually not acceptable, if in the right situations.
Okay.
But I think shouting is a little bit old, is a very old traditional way of dealing with punishment. I don't think it's necessary. But I think what we try and encourage at JLL is that very much it's a team effort, and it's a team environment. So we try and encourage, even though people are in different departments, to always be trying to what we call cross-sell. So if you're in one department, you're trying to help out, you're trying to win business for another department. So that team environment and working as one, everyone's working for JLL, so you're always trying to build business and win new business for the company, even if it doesn't necessarily affect you. It's just,
So your plan for a couple of years ahead, you still staying here in Vietnam, or you have planned to move to work in other countries?
No, the plan is, I mean, very much to continue to build the business in Vietnam. I mean, we are, from a business point of view, we're in a growth phase at the moment. So we are recruiting a number of people. We're growing into new areas and new markets. So from a regional point of view, Vietnam is very much in focus, and we currently have approximately 200 people in the business, and we look to grow that quite considerably over the next 2 years.
Do you plan to buy a house here?
I think we're considering buying in
Yeah.
Vietnam. We spend money on rent every month, so if we buy somewhere and you know we don't have to pay rent, we have to pay. I mean, and we're paying off a mortgage for ourselves. So
just to wrap up our discussion today. Well, of course, you like food, Vietnamese food. You say phở and bánh mì, right? And how about traffic? How about anything that you dislike living here?
Dislike, I think, what would I dislike? I think that the flooding this time of year can be very challenging.
Yes.
And I think that's the same for everyone. I don't think that's just me. For us, we always feel if we go out to a restaurant and some of the hotels as well, I feel that there's still a lot of the pricing for some of the restaurants here compared to the actual quality that you get can be quite disappointing.
So it's a bit overpriced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Compared to, I don't mind paying. When you go out, you want to have a great experience. You want something better than you can actually cook at home. Is my theory. I don't want to go out and just sort of get the same as what I can do at home. And my cooking's not very good. So, but when you go out and you get a meal that's not very good, and then you get charged quite a lot of money for it as well, and the service is not particularly great, that can be quite frustrating from my point of view. And the same with hotels as well. I think generally hotels here still need to improve quite significantly. When there needs to be, I think, more supply coming, more opportunities, more competition. I think will be actually quite good, and that will help to sort of lower the rates down, because compared to sort of Bangkok and some of the other Southeast Asian countries, it's still very expensive here for hotel rooms.
Well, and actually it's good that you have to spend some time to think about what you dislike. Actually, I like that. But of course, living here in a different countries than the home country, of course, you must encounter a lot of difficulties. But you plan to stay here, so I would like to take this opportunity to wish you a lot of success, and of course your family as well, a lot of fun, and you will continue to enjoy Vietnam and life here. Thank you very much, Stephen, again for coming to our show today. Thank you. Thưa quý vị, chúng tôi vừa trải qua 30 phút trò chuyện với ông Stephen Wyatt, là giám đốc của Jones Lang LaSalle Việt Nam, và cũng hy vọng rằng quý vị cũng đã có được những phút giây thoải mái để tìm hiểu về cá nhân của ông Stephen Wyatt, người từ Anh đã đến Việt Nam làm việc và sinh sống ở đây 6 năm qua. Đến đây thì chương trình Tôi Việt Nam cũng xin được kết thúc. Cảm ơn quý vị đã quan tâm theo dõi và xin hẹn gặp lại. Thank you.
Come on. Thank you.